The late summer sun bathed the tennis courts in a golden light, the kind of light that made everything seem sharper, brighter, almost unreal. The crowd was gathered, dressed in fine suits and shimmering dresses, their laughter echoing across the manicured lawns of the exclusive country club. At the center of the crowd, a tall woman in a spotless white dress held a racket with casual grace, her confidence glowing like a crown on her head. She was Clarissa Moreau, the young, ambitious CEO who had inherited her father's empire. In front of her, standing stiffly in his faded gray janitor's uniform, was a man who looked completely out of place, Aaron Holt, the single dad who scrubbed floors and emptied trash bins when no one else was watching. To the glamorous crowd, he was invisible. But today, all eyes were on him. The tension in the air was electric. Clarissa had laughed moments before, mocking Aaron with a smirk that carried through the air like a whip crack. "Beat me in tennis and I'll marry you," she had declared in front of everyone, her voice dripping with disdain. The crowd gasped and then laughed, thinking it was a joke, a cruel game played at the expense of the janitor. Aaron stood frozen, gripping the handle of an old broom he had been carrying when he was dragged into this spectacle. His face flushed, his heart pounded, but his eyes, those tired, weathered eyes, carried a spark no one in that courtyard expected. Before we dive deeper into what happened next, let me pause for a moment. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the incredible strength hidden within ordinary people, please take a second to like this video, share it with someone who needs inspiration today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us continue telling stories that remind the world of hope, dignity, and the courage to rise when mocked. Aaron's story had never been easy. Years before, he had been a promising college tennis player, a rising star with a scholarship and a future carved out under the bright lights of sports arenas. But life has a way of shattering even the brightest dreams. His wife, the love of his youth, fell ill shortly after their daughter, Ilara, was born. Medical bills drained every dollar he had, and when she passed away, Aaron walked away from everything, the courts, the fame, the offers, just to be there for his daughter. He took jobs no one else wanted, scrubbing floors at the very club where he once trained, also Ilara could eat, go to school, and dream the dreams he had lost. No one at the country club knew his story. To them, he was just the janitor. They never saw him slipping into the empty courts at dawn when the world was asleep, practicing his swings with an old racket that had more cracks than strings, just to remind himself he was still alive. They never saw him sit by Ilara's bedside, reading her bedtime stories about heroes who were mocked but who rose again when it mattered most. He had built a life of quiet dignity, but now Clarissa's words had pushed him into the harshest spotlight. The crowd was buzzing, their laughter biting. Aaron could have walked away, swallowed his pride, and returned to the shadows. But then he thought of Ilara, who was sitting on the grass at the edge of the court, clutching a worn teddy bear and looking at him with wide eyes. She had always believed her father could do anything, even when the world told him he was nothing. And in that moment, Aaron knew he could not let her down. He stepped forward, and with a steady voice that surprised even him, agreed to the challenge. The club scrambled to give him a racket, a spare one left behind by a guest. It was heavier than what he was used to, the grip unfamiliar, but he held it with quiet strength. Clarissa smirked again, twirling her racket with elegance. The match began. The first serve came fast and sharp, slicing through the air like a bullet. To everyone's shock, Aaron's arm moved with perfect timing, sending the ball back with a clean, effortless stroke. A murmur ran through the crowd. The janitor had returned the serve. Clarissa shrugged, thinking it was luck, and served again, harder this time. But Aaron, fueled by years of hidden practice and silent pain, sent it back once more, his movements calm, precise, and astonishingly skilled. As the rallies continued, the crowd's laughter faded into stunned silence. Every swing of Aaron's racket carried the weight of years spent in shadows, the pain of loss, and the love of a father who had sacrificed everything. His body remembered what his mind had tried to forget, the rhythm, the power, the grace of a man born to play. Clarissa grew frustrated, her composure cracking, sweat glistening on her brow. Aaron's face remained calm, his focus unshakable. With every point he won, Ilara clapped her small hands from the sidelines, her smile brighter than the sun itself. The final rally was a storm. Clarissa swung with all her might, her desperation visible in every motion. But Aaron, with a quiet resolve, returned the ball one last time with a devastating strike that sent it past her reach. The game was over. The janitor had beaten the CEO. The crowd froze, their mouths open, their eyes wide. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by Alara's joyful cry as she ran onto the court, throwing herself into her father's arms. Aaron lifted her high, his chest heaving with emotion, his eyes wet with tears he had held back for years. For once, he was not invisible. For once, the world saw him for who he truly was, not just a janitor, but a father, a fighter, a man of dignity and incredible skill. Clarissa stood frozen, her mockery turned to humiliation. But deep down, even she knew she had witnessed something extraordinary. This was no ordinary man. This was someone who had fought battles she could never understand, and emerged stronger for it. She lowered her racket, her pride shattered, while the crowd, once mocking, erupted into thunderous applause. Aaron did not care about her promise, her words about marriage meant nothing to him. What mattered was the look on his daughter's face, the pride shining in her eyes. In that moment, he had given her a memory that would last a lifetime, proof that her father was more than the world believed him to be. As the crowd slowly dispersed, people approached Aaron with new eyes, some offering apologies, others simply shaking his hand in silent respect. But Aaron was not seeking their validation. He only cared that Alara's faith in him had never been misplaced. And that is the beauty of this story. It reminds us that greatness often hides in the most unexpected places, in the quiet sacrifices of single parents, in the unnoticed strength of those society mocks, in the hearts of people who keep fighting when no one is watching. Before we reach the end, I want to pause once more. If this story has touched your heart, please like this video, share it so others can feel its message, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Every click helps us keep spreading hope, kindness, and the belief that no one is ever truly invisible.